What's up, everybody? This is Ty. This is the Triple Threat Bet podcast. This Tuesday at 7 p.m. We're here with most of the gang. What's going on with you, Al Hero?
What it do? I'm happy to be here. I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm sucking it the fuck up just to be on the show tonight. So I'm ready to get it going. Suck it the fuck up. That's right. If it's raining, we're training. And if you're sick, nobody really gives a shit anyway. So let's go. So take it over to Matt.
All I heard was I suck shit up. I don't know what you need to tell everybody.
It's the Navy way.
It's
the Navy way.
I mean, I guess. I figured, man. Whatever.
It's the Navy way.
But it is Tuesday. Welcome, everybody. Triple Threat Bet podcast coming to you live on, where are we at? Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and then after it'll be up on all your listening platforms. We're excited to talk to you today. Looks like it's just going to be us. So we get to talk about a whole bunch of crazy shit, get into it. Without further ado, everybody knows what today is, right? What's today?
Tuesday, the 4th.
The 4th. Not May the 4th, but February the 4th. And what that means is that we've already passed the 1st, and it's official. The contest is underway.
What contest are you talking about?
The t-shirt contest. We're about to get underway. Don't be mission ships movement there, Ty. I know you don't know what that means, but that's like
that means,
not
bro.
being able to get on deployment.
You don't know what that means, bro.
Yeah, I do.
You know what it means, but you ain't
I've heard some people talk about it before. They're like, "Yo, I missed that shit." And I was like, "Damn."
I heard some real Navy guys talk about that thing called a ship one time.
Missing ships movement. That's like missing deployment. Can't do that. So, contest is on. So here's the thing. We've been talking about for a couple weeks. We've been letting you guys know we all designed some shirts, and we're gonna hawk these shirts like we owe drug dealers money for the next year, so that we can. Well, Al Hero is going to ask y'all to give you his child support check so that he can buy shirts. But we're going to sell as many as we can. And at the end of it, when it all washes out, we're going to take tallies. We're going to keep score. And whoever shirt sells the most, they will get to pick the charity that we give 10% of the entire proceeds of sales goes to. So if you want to help somebody out and you want to make sure a good cause gets some money to do good things, then let's hit it and let's do it. So without further ado, let's take a look at these things again real quick. So there you have it. 4 t-shirts. We're going to wax poetic, be phenomenal, sit in a hot seat, and then be like whiskey. All of our stories get better with time. Just, listen to some that we tell. You might hear the same one again, and it's even better the next time you hear it. I don't know if it's because we added shit or if it's just better, but you know how it goes. So there's your designs. That's what we got. Shirts are live on the website. I'm sure we have commercials coming soon. So, to open it up, just want everybody to go out there, support, and help us raise some money for some charity. So there's that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun.
So I got a question. Got a serious question. It's not going to seem quite serious, but it's a serious question.
Okay.
As you get older, is it more of a concern now? And it must be a certain age. I don't know if it's 40. I don't know what the age is. Like, you're more concerned now about shitting yourself in public. Is that just me? Like, I really have a genuine concern, like, that I'm not going to be able to hold it together in public. There's been a couple of close calls in my life. But most recently, there was a couple close ones where, like, I had to, like, get the keys from April and be like, I'm going home right fucking now. I'll come back and pick you up.
Where were you at when you grabbed the keys?
So we went to this place in Wee Hitchcock, Florida, called the Dixie Dandy. It's like, it's just what it sounds like, but they got some really good food. So we missed breakfast and I ate like which I shouldn't have done. I was like, I'll take the Salisbury steak. Bad fucking call. And we're sitting there now. It's a public park. We're all like, her family's all there. Like, we're hanging out with Kinsey. And I was like, I really don't want to use a public restroom. Like, cause I seen a guy on the way into the bathroom. Like, he got out of his truck and he was like fucking moving and like taking his belt and shit off as he hit the door. I'm like, don't want to follow that. I don't want to be the guy who follows that. Right. So I'm standing there and I'm like, it's one of those where you're like, like you're not going to make it. Like, I'm not going to make it for an hour. Like, I'm going to have to. And I sped home and, did my business.
So let's be honest.
But I'm just wondering, as you get older, is that like, maybe it's just me, but it's a real concern.
Let's dwell on the story. Let's be honest. You've shitting worse. Okay.
I did sit in a McDonald's cup.
No, fuck no, dude. You stop it.
I did.
McDonald's is probably amongst the cleanest restrooms you've ever shit in compared to where you have had to take a dump in the past.
No, brother. Literally, in a McDonald's dollar sweet tea cup in the back of my truck.
Oh,
like and my daughter, it was probably one of my most lowest moments in my life. I was sitting there, my daughter had to so they did a dental procedure on my daughter. She was little. And like they did like a veneer or a cap over something, right? And then it fell out that night. So I was pissed. I was already pissed. I called the dentist's office. They're like, well, we're not really open tomorrow, but we're going to be doing like CPR training. So you can bring her in and we'll use the good glue. And I'm thinking, what? Like, what did you use?
Good glue.
Yeah, bro, that's exactly what the lady on the phone said. I will use the good glue this time. I'm thinking, what the fuck did y'all use? Elmer's the last time? So we get there that morning. We stop by McDonald's. I don't like fast food. So whatever, give me a little Mickey D's in the morning. My daughter, she's little. So I got her out of her booster seat. She's up front with me. And I start sweating. Like I'm parked under these trees. I'm watching these people cut grass. And I can see in the building. Like I can see people moving. I'm like, well, they're not open yet. And I'm like, this ain't good. I'm like, man, it's bad. It's sweats right now. So then I'm like, I got a decision to make. Do I just miss this appointment? Let my daughter look like a fraggle? And I was like, I'm not going to make it home. There's nowhere for me. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to try to suck it up. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it got to the point where like I opened my driver's door and put one leg out. Like, I don't know what I was going to do, where I was going to run to, but one leg was out. And I was like, so I thought in my head, I was like, I'm going to release the pressure. I'm going to use this pressure relief valve and I'm going to seep a little air out. That ain't what happened. So all of a sudden then I'm full blown. It's game on. So then I'm like, well, what do I do? So I jump in the back seat of the truck. I still got to go. I'm like clenching it up. I see my gym bag. I'm like, I really don't want to shit in my gym bag, but I will if I've got to. Open it up. Thank God there's clean clothes in there. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. I'm looking around the truck. I'm still sweating and I'm not done yet. Like it's just the beginning of the end for me. And I grab my sweet tea cup, pour it out the window, and fill the cup up. Well, I think it's over. I'm like, okay, this is very embarrassing. I don't know what to do now. Thank God there's baby wipes because I got a kid, so I'm clean. I'm good and clean. Got fresh drawers on from my gym bag. I'm good. We get into the building, and my daughter tells this lady, who's beautiful, by the way, like she's very very attractive lady. She looks at this lady in the face and says, "My dad took a poop in the truck." So now I'm standing there looking at this lady in the eyes. She's looking back at me like, what is the fuck going on? And without missing
I cleaned up her poop in the truck. I don't know what she's talking about.
Without missing a beat, I was like, I farted. That's what she's talking about. And the lady like looks at me with like horror and disgust. And I'm like, can I use your bathroom? So yeah, bro.
Okay. So first off, let's get back to the original question. Number one, I think as you get older, you don't even give a shit. Like if it goes, it goes, whatever. When you're younger, that's when you care, right? You care when you're younger because you're like, shit, these people are going to know me. When you become old, 40, 50, like up in that, you're like, man, fuck all these people.
And then April was asking me, she's like, well, that's not a big deal. I was like, I did it in Walmart in North Carolina one time and I was shopping and I left my cart, bro. I headed to the house. I was embarrassed. Like
what the hell? Sad. Listen, it depends on the city you're in too. Because I mean, in some places it's all good. Let her rip. You know what I mean?
And not in the bathroom. Not
in no. Bro, depends on the city. Like if you gotta go, you gotta go. Like you just go there.
I make my decisions on where we're going based on how I feel that day. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, here's what I'll tell you. Like when you initiated the first part of this conversation, I was like, nah, this is not going to go anywhere. But then I realized as I get older, yeah, I think that is something that I think about.
You have to.
I'm about to be 50 years old, and I think I do base my weekend activities, especially about, okay, where are we going to be about noon o'clock when
it's your time, when it's time,
when I got to make water or when I got to make a bowel movement,
time, bro.
You just got to be open to using the facilities at the place that you went to.
Oh, I'm prepped now. I got clean drawers in my truck. I always keep
if you ever see Hero go to his fucking truck and pull out a bucket, you'd be like, that dude's got to take a shit. Bro, he's going to clean the bathroom so he can do his.
Bro, I keep a pickle jar in my truck just for emergencies. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got a big rim on it. You never know. I just want to throw that out there because me and my brother-in-law had a long conversation because like I don't know if he got a problem. Like this dude there's once a week he's gonna shit himself somewhere. Like dude, it's bad, bro. Like Now, if there's now Buc-ee's, I don't mind. Buc-ee's has the cleanest bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like you can stretch out in a Buc-ee's. You can pretty much lay down if you want it. Like,
bro, Buc-ee's bathroom attendants get paid like $25 an hour.
Damn.
They get paid, dude. There's a reason those bathroom floors are clean.
Anyways, I wasn't trying to get the show off. I was just
but you did.
If it's just me, if I'm the only
remember,
one.
y'all, Al needs you to buy a lot of his shirts so he can give to a charity. And I'm sure we know which one it is.
Well, you know,
Clean Bathrooms of America.
Look,
that's what he's giving to.
You know, I had autism when I was growing up. I beat it. I overcame it. I grew out of it, you know, so like I think Flintstone vitamins and I, you know, drank a lot of milk and I overcame it.
You could have said dyslexia. That would have been better.
I beat that too. I had that twice. And then like
twice
in my life, I was dyslexic.
Holy shit.
I overcame it just through perseverance.
CIA Bob said you should give to Vets for Depends. That should be the charity.
Oh, Bob. You know what, bro? Have y'all seen Depends lately? Like they have like male models. Like it's horrible. Like me and my wife were in the store, walked by, I seen the Depends. Like, damn, they got this dude, bro. He's got abs. He's all like on the front. He's smiling and shit, wearing a diaper. Bro, you had to pay me a lot of money. Well, not a lot.
Oh, they did.
Like you got to pay me a lot of money because everybody that knows you is going to be like, hey, there's Ty Cobb on the Depends. On the Depends.
Yeah, as you drive off in your like Ferrari, you're like, depend that, dude.
So, question: has anybody been? I'm not a big social media guy, but man, the world is like coming undone because Beyonce won Country Music Album of the Year. Are people really that pissed? Like, I didn't listen to her album. Like, I don't have an issue with it. Like, maybe she sold a bunch. I don't know.
But did she win Country Album of the Year or just Album of the Year?
Country Album of the Year.
So,
Country.
Yeah.
Album.
Well,
I'm gonna have to go. So I have not. Truth be told, I have not listened to a single. Only song that I've ever heard was the one that was on the radio. But I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. Maybe it is. That
I don't know, man. I think it's one of those things that if you've been in that genre forever,
people are turning it into like it's. Like, I'm like, dang, y'all are ready to riot over an album.
Yeah, but there's like, it's one of those things where like country music is one of those genres that there's I don't know how to say it polite. There's an expectation of how that music should be, right? And then once it started going, mainstream pop sounding and all, it kind of changed.
It's a big deal because Beyonce wins. Here's my true thoughts behind it. Hey, everybody out there now, and I like Morgan Wallen, I like all these countries. I like some of the newer guys.
Post Malone's a country singer now, dude.
They're all making pop country. Why is it a big deal now, right? It's crazy. I prefer old country, right? Give me some of the old 90s, 80s country. That's kind of what I still listen to. But everybody's making pop country, but they're making it like I was before we got on the show, I was like scrolling like, and everything is like, it's crazy. People are really losing their minds.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess you lose your mind because if someone walks up to you and goes, "Do you like Beyonce's music?" You're gonna be like,
I don't.
No. Listen, do you like your music? They'll be like, "Yeah." What's your favorite song or album? They're gonna go down to the Destiny's Child stuff. They're gonna go to her stuff. Then they go like, "No, the country music." People gonna be like, "The what? Country music? She sings country music? Makes sense. She's from Houston, Texas, bro." I'm
gonna go check it out because maybe it's that good. What's up, David?
Oh, home front sit rep in the house.
God, David. David, you're a traveling man, bro. I see you on social media, on Facebook. You always visiting somebody, bro. Damn, that dude's always on the go with his gimp knee.
Yeah.
That gimp leg he's got. He got that big knuckle knee.
Trying to stretch out that knee.
Pop said, I don't know her shit.
Yeah.
Where is Scott? Yeah, good question. I'm not sure.
He's taking a break. That's all we're going to leave it at.
Taking a break.
We're going to leave it at that. So, yeah. So you see all these people. What do you think, Ty? You think that's something to freak out about? Beyonce winning Country Music Album of the Year?
No, you could put Beyonce in any genre and she's going to be the best singer automatically. So, I mean, it's a little bit unfair for me, but as far as she's the best. She's the best singer, one of the best singers in the world, in my opinion. And so you could put her singing any genre. Is it
she's her entertainment status, or is it because you think her vocals are the best?
Oh, no, I think her vocals are the best, and her
vocals,
entertainment when she does like that homecoming what was it 2-day thing she did for Capella, I think.
Yeah.
the music festival. That was one of the
Coachella?
greatest Coachella. Yeah, that was one of the greatest concerts I've ever seen on the pyramid and everything.
Oh,
So yeah, the entertainment value is there, but no, I mean strictly from just sitting in a booth and singing. To me, she's
wow.
got the best voice. You know,
Wow.
Adele's up there. You know,
I don't think she hits my top 5. I don't think she's bad, but I don't think she's even in my top 5 vocally.
yeah. But see, that's the thing is I don't like a lot of the music she sings, like her genre. I may not like Destiny's Child. I may not like the stuff she does alone, but do I like the stuff that she did where she's like in hip hop, where she's like going over Jay-Z stuff with the surfboard? Yeah, I like all that. And then do I like hearing her sing big band stuff? Hell yeah, I like to hear her sing Etta James songs. Yes. Yeah. And then I heard her do it. You know, she's got a couple little things with where she sings Jolene. You know, the old Dolly Parton song. She's got a little thing with Willie Nelson on the album.
I'm going to check it out.
Cyrus. It's not bad by any means, but to me, it's like what you said. There's such a delineation from what is country, what is pop country, and what is like country hip hop. There's such a delineation there that you can't really tell anymore.
Yeah, the lines are definitely.
I don't like bubblegum. Like bubblegum, pop, rap, or country. I don't like. And that's what a lot of that Morgan Wallen stuff is to me.
I'll think I'll check out. I mean, and I'm a huge Etta James fan. I have her vinyls. We have a lot of like my wife. Every time if you're in the car with my wife, it feels like you're in World War II because she's playing like I feel like I'm going to Save Private Ryan, bro. For real.
Hell yeah, dude.
I listen to mostly stuff from the 80s and older.
I'm trying to think of the guy she follows, and he's like I can't remember his name, but he's straight like World War II. And she loves all his shit. Like she plays it 24/7.
Perry Como?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to ask her. I'll think of him in a minute. But she loves whatever this guy is, and she plays all. she's a Sinatra person and all that type of music. I like Sinatra.
That's the cool thing. Music is music.
Glenn Miller, like, Bob nailed it. Bob, you were the fucking
Glenn Miller.
Man.
That's because Bob's old as hell.
Bob's
old as hell. He was
Glenn Miller.
He was probably Glenn Miller's PSD back when he was doing big band for USO tours.
Hey, y'all gonna fire Bob. Bob made a post earlier. Somebody said he was the PSD for Jesus, like he was protecting him and the disciples.
He probably was.
That's funny.
Yeah, Glenn, my wife, but she plays Glenn Miller. Like we're like driving to the beach and like it's supposed to be like fun time. And I've got Glenn. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm in an old World War II flick. Like I'm about to. What's the movie? The tank movie.
Saving Private Ryan, homie. You're about to storm that beach.
About to storm the beaches of Normandy with my wife.
Yeah, but think about it this way though. So music, right? Overall, if you look at how music is being done today versus how music was done 5 years ago, like you can jump into Spotify, create music, play it. A whole bunch of people start liking what you're doing, and then you get noticed that way, right? There's no need in some cases to be on the road for 20 years playing dive shit clubs and not nobody knowing you, making $100 a session. People still do that. But I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of artists that are like, oh, you know, it's almost like the military, right? I had to pay my dues and do these things. And now you can just come in and you didn't have to do none of that. So are you really, did you really make it? Because you didn't make it the way I did. You know what I mean? It's different. So I have seen a lot of people that feel like, I saw a lot of comments that they feel like music now is more about how many clicks can you get and how popular are you versus like your actual music, right?
Yeah, but from a veteran standpoint, I think music is kind of ingrained in us, right? I don't know how y'all feel. Like music is therapeutic. When you go, like when I went inpatient, they had music therapy. They have different like music. You could hear a song right now from like whenever, and it brings back a certain level of memories, whether it's right. Ty could hear a song and be like, "Oh, I remember I was in Jacksonville."
I've been there.
Or you could hear a song and be like, "Man, I remember rolling down MSR Tampa." You know, rolling down, run, and like I like to this day when Amarillo by Morning comes on, that I played that song every time we stopped at any fob or wherever. I had it just blaring out the top of the truck, right? So there's just certain songs, and I think Bob does a lot of like videos he posts of like music, but I think music for veterans is something. That's why when I was watching it on social media, I was like, people are really freaking out, but music is therapeutic for veterans. I think most veterans, maybe I'm off. But for me as a veteran, man, music puts me into a certain a certain mood. Speaking of
I
music,
gotcha.
Bubba Wesley is looking. David, this is more. I don't know if he's reached out to you, but Bubba Wesley is looking for sponsors. Right, he wants to put your logo on his trailer and on his stuff. He's looking for sponsors this year. So if you're looking to sponsor and you want to get your logo on Bubba Wesley's trailer, he's looking for sponsors right now. So I told him I'd put it out.
Yeah, it's a good thing you brought up Bubba. So everybody, Bubba Wesley's been nominated for an award in Texas for country music for, I think, like one of his album art covers that he did is up for an award. So if you go to the Texas Country Music Association page, you can vote for him there. Everybody vote for Bubba. He's going to win that. And then another podcast alumni of the Triple Threat Vet podcast, Bree Bagwell, is up for Podcast of the Year in Texas country music.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Bree, when are we coming on? That's what I want to know.
I thought we were going to be on the show.
Gosh, and it's called.
She's got big now. You don't need us.
Here's the name of guess the name of the podcast. You'll love it.
Smoking hot white chick who plays the guitar.
Jesus Christ, no. Only Vans.
Only Vans.
Only Vans. Because they tour.
Oh, and so Al, you had such a rant about being scared to take a shit in public. I think we had to bring someone on to help you through that.
I see him in the corner down there.
I'm just saying, you were breaking down. You're like, I'm gonna poop my pants. And
I don't want to bring
emergency call, dude.
I don't want to bring him on because I feel like a horrible friend. I haven't touched base with him and checked on him in a while. And
he's gonna let you know.
Probably why he's here. Then I was wondering why he was so adamant about coming on.
I feel bad. I have not texted him or just reached out and checked on my battle buddy in a while. So,
bro, well, shit, bring him on here. It's not like we need to introduce this dude. He's everybody's therapist. What's up?
Friend of the podcast, therapist of the stars and of the podcast host.
Bro, are you in a military hotel room? Because that totally looks like military hotel wall art.
Oh, okay.
Nope, it's actually a painting my cousin did in college.
I feel like shit.
It's a nude reading.
It's nude? Did he say it's nude? Is it nude
reading?
Is somebody naked? Oh, damn! You can't see no. You can't see none though. That's bullshit. Tell me he needs to redo that picture.
That's an interpretive piece. You see what you want to see in that thing, Albert, and you saw what you wanted to see.
I don't see what I want to see.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing? How's my battle blues?
What's up, Berto?
Good, bro.
We're pretty good. I figured
What's
I'd
new
bring
with
you
you?
on.
How's your beard,
about,
dude?
taking
Jesus.
shits in the back of Humvees and back of McDonald's teacups. I think is what. Yeah.
Have you ever been so hard up, Berto, that you had to take a shit in a McDonald's sweet teacup?
No.
Okay, just checking.
MRE box, yes, but not.
Well, I've been there too.
Hey, but that's at least like there's a little more room for air in the MRE box, dude. You got that little sweet teacup, bro.
At that moment in my life, I wasn't concerned with air. I was not concerned with air.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's nothing like peeing in a Gatorade bottle at the turret, right?
And throwing it out to the little kids and watching them fight over it. It's awesome.
I hate to admit, but I did that too. And we used to put the MRE heater inside.
HR nightmare.
We all did.
No.
So what's up, Berto? What's new with you, man?
What's new with me, man? We're moving. We're leaving sunny
Texas.
California.
Where are you headed to?
New Mexico. We are going to Albuquerque.
That's closer. You're almost there.
It is closer. Mm-hmm. It puts me, I think, 16 hours away from.
Yeah. How crazy is that? It's only a 16-hour drive to Texas.
Is that just a family? Just a family thing? You guys are trying to get out of that state just because of the cost of living? What I mean,
primarily it's the commute. Like, my commute currently is 30 miles, and it takes me an hour and 15 in the morning, and about 2 hours to get home. And so, I had to assess what it is that I want my life to look like, and driving 3 hours a day is not it. At least not stuck in traffic, right?
Yeah.
So, actually, we're moving to Kirkland Air Force Base. I don't know if any of the audience knows this, or if you guys even know this, but there's a lot of availability for rentals on military installations. Now, granted, they're not the newest and the shiniest and all that crap, right? But to put it in perspective, the NASA center that's near here called Moffett Field, they rent for a 3-bedroom for $3,500. My mortgage and HOA fees are $4,200. put it in perspective, right?
So
Albuquerque is gonna be $2,200, man. Like,
I happen to work for me and Matt and now Ty. We all work for a military housing company, and they do waterfall at a lot of our properties. That if their occupancy is low or they don't have the military members, they'll rent to government employees. They'll rent to first responders. Where I live in Milton, that their property will rent to first responders and government employees. And retirees. So it's called waterfalling. You can rent and live there. I mean, you can live there forever, and you have all the amenities of a military installation and stuff. So
my understanding is they prioritize Medal of Honor, retirees, and then disabled veterans, federal employees, and then the rest of the community. So
when's the welcoming party? I can't wait. I gotta go.
We're going to be there on the 14th. We sign our lease that day. And then I start work on the 24th. So.
And where are you working?
I will be working for the federal government.
Same thing you're doing. Same thing you're doing now. Pretty much kind of the same in the same field, I would assume.
Berto,
it is in the same field.
You're never gonna get away, bro. You're never gonna get away. You didn't learn when you had to climb all those antenna towers. Come on, dude.
I got 13 years left, man. 13 years. That's it. But no, the new gig is going to be helping veterans transition from active duty service into care and what that looks like in the community or with the VA and all of that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's not as heavy in therapy, but it's more like managing cases, like saying, hey, Ty just got out. Okay, you got back injuries. Let's get you coordinated with a back specialist. Let's get you, seen by a surgeon. And then following the processes to get care established. And then basically, you are. My position is I'm the point of contact between the veteran and all the healthcare.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be working with a program called they used to call it the OEF OIF OND program. Now it's called M2VA. So basically, like I said, you have one point of contact they just extended it to 10 years now. It used to be only 5 years post discharge, but now they've extended it to 10. And mental health. Cool. Yeah, mental health and any MST related stuff, you can be seen at the VA for free.
Oh, okay.
So something else to know about, Now, so what?
Your new gig is not with the VA anymore. It's with a separate organization.
Well, technically, I haven't signed anything with my agency, so I can't really disclose what.
Okay, no, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
NDA, bruh.
Yeah.
Berto's gonna be a spy. That dude's really gonna go be a spy. He's gonna run all over the world. He's gonna, find everybody's secrets, but he's telling you that he's living in New Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
So how do you know that that's not what I've been doing since the last time?
No,
exactly, bro.
Probably.
Look at your beard. I think you had to have gone somewhere you've been before. You needed to blend in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's fucking turban on his head. Fucking.
So what are you guys been up to? What goals do you have for the new year?
To sell more T-shirts than these knuckleheads you see on the screen right now. That's my goal.
So I've said mine are a little bit different. This year I'm going to finish my degree. I don't know why I haven't. Right, I've been to school a bunch, so I've already I withdrew the leftover VA I had VA GI Bill benefit. I'm going to use that, finish up my degree. But outside of that, that's really it. I don't really have a whole lot of goals this year. Oh shit, Berto's gone.
Nice.
Oh,
hey,
my goals scared him off.
Julie Willis, welcome back. By the way, you're a mom, so we already know that you're a spy. So I don't know what you're talking about. You want to be a spy when you grow up. Moms spy on their kids all the time, and they figure everything out.
And yes, so there is the New Life Vet Life Insurance that is pretty amazing. So they give. I talked to David about it, and I've reached out to him. I got another call with him, but they do life insurance, pretty good size policies for vets with everything from PTSD to if you have a disability rating. A lot of civilian companies really don't might not mess with you like as far as life insurance, but this organization is a vet organization, and they do life insurance for vets, so it's pretty cool, and they offer some pretty large policies. I got to be careful because if I get too big of a policy, my wife will probably call Berto, who's a spy, and have me taken the fuck
out. She already watches all those podcasts and listens to all those, like watches all the stuff on Netflix. She already knows how to get away with it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Berto, I'm gonna finish my degree, bro.
Nice.
What's the
about
degree
time?
In?
Organizational leadership. So just a bullshit degree, really. So
whatever
one I can do, whatever degree I don't have to take a math class in, I'm fucking doing it, bro. They can tell me whatever it is. They can be like,
that's why I went to social work, bro. There is no math.
No, there's no math. Oh, I'm switching my degree to mental health. I'm gonna do something I don't even know. As long as I'm gonna take a math class, bro. Math every time I'm working on my degree, and they're like, all right, we're gonna put you in college math. I'm like, dropping this school. What's next?
Yeah. Ty, what's your goal for the year?
My goal for the year is not to rely on other people, that I need to start relying on my own much more, and that I'm probably too nice. That's my goal. I'm probably too nice to people. I should probably start looking out for myself much more than I do.
So you're trying to be meaner?
Meaner, yeah. Trying to be meaner.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
terrifying. Look, listen, unless you see a pile of trash in the center of a room, you're going to be okay. But if you see that pile of trash in the room and Ty's in that room, you need to run.
No, I mean, really and truly, I think that with all of the therapy and all of the things that I've been blessed to go through, I do believe that I have a better grasp on my mental health than I ever have in the past. I feel like I have more clarity about the things that I'm actually wrong about. And there's a long list, and it's not hard for me to say that I'm wrong about some certain things, but it's also much easier for me to be like, I'm right. I'm not wrong here. And I'm very resolute in this. And so you just get some of the bullshit out of the way, and you start realizing that things aren't that bad and you can overcome it even if it was. Whereas before you may be relying on someone else to lift you up or something like that, and it can be self-deprecating and also self-sabotaging,
Yeah, so it sounds like what you're referring to is more like emotional, like more mental health stuff. You don't want to be so reliant on others, but not necessarily like tasks, right? Like work stuff.
Yeah, I think it's work is fine. I don't worry about work and doing things there. I'm talking about like my personal life. Like I have a group of people in my life now that I'm comfortable with, and I don't really want new people in it. And I think I'm gonna maybe commit to making the people that are in my life, making them feel more valued than maybe I have, as opposed to being the social butterfly that I've always kind of been, an introverted social butterfly that I've always been before. I'm not doing that shit no more. So I'm going to take care of the people that have taken care of me, and I know who those people are. So that's kind of where I'm going to focus.
Yeah. I personally have two goals this year. One, I want to be kinder just in general and let the easy shit, the small shit go, right? Like take a cue from Elsa, man. Gotta let shit go sometimes. Like the guy who cuts me off, or like the lady that literally rear-ended me last week. Like, she was in a hurry and whatever, but she didn't intend to hit my car, right? So there was no need to throw a temper tantrum. I did ask her what the hell she was thinking. But and then the other goal of mine for this year is to do the easy stuff now. As soon as it presents itself, you get a bill in the mail, fucker, write that check and send it out, or get online and pay the bill. Those small things. It happened to me with a toll. So here in California, if you don't have the fast pass crap, you drive through and then they send you a bill later. Well, I posted it on the fridge. I'll take care of it. It's in a spot that I'm going to see it. Man, I ignored that shit. Next thing I know, it's 3 times what I should have been paying for late fees. So not a huge deal, but those small things that we don't do today, or the easy things that we don't do now, can then escalate. So I can think of like not paying the mortgage, or not paying a car note, right? Or falling behind on something, or Al's going back to school, right? So forgetting a deadline for an assignment, things like that, like something easy that you can do right now in the moment. That's my goal today, like this for this year. Those are the two.
Nice. What about Matt?
I was going to say, I don't think I have any goals, but
no, right now.
Just kidding.
You said you wanted to sell more t-shirts than these two.
Yeah, but that wasn't a real goal until everybody started saying real shit. I thought we were being funny, so now I got to be serious. So to be serious,
I mean, it's a serious one. I want you.
I'm going to win 100%.
Period.
So on the t-shirts, right? Everybody, y'all can hear this. So if there's like 300 people watching today or in the next week, just everybody go buy one shirt so I can hit my goal of 300 Got Your 6 t-shirts for our business this year. That's one goal. Second goal is to date night with the wife every week. I pick one week, she picks one the next week, so that we can go hang out and do things, because now that we're empty nesters, it's important to spend time together.
That's a fucking stupid goal. Ugh.
Well, you've been married to the same woman twice, so
I was gonna get a girlfriend this year. That was my goal. Like,
but for real though, Matt told me about that one a couple weeks ago, and that's something that I want to incorporate. Like Sarah bought this little game for my stocking for Christmas, and you open it up and it's got like a time hack and a activity you can do with your wife, so or with your spouse. So we're going to open one of those cards up, plan out the, whatever the card says, and then go on that excursion, whatever it may be, over the weekend, 2 to 6 hours or whatever.
Nope, I'm getting a side chick this year. That's side chick.
Here's the thing. We both work so much. I work all the time, dude.
I know, bro. That's why I don't stay at your house. When I come in town, I stay with Ty.
Yeah, so
I can actually sleep. I can actually get some sleep.
I mean, if you want to succeed, you got to hustle. That's the period, right? But got to take a break sometimes, and so that's part of us being able to do that, is taking a break, going and doing things. Again, like 1 week she picks something, 1 week I pick something, and here's the deal, here's the catch. It doesn't matter what the shit I want to do or she wants to do, you got to go do it. So it's another way to learn new things about someone that you've known forever, right? So that's kind of what we're doing. So serious note, those are the goals. And then I need to lose like 60 pounds.
Are you going to go back in? You trying to go back in?
In where?
Exactly.
No, I'm not trying to go back in there, but I'm not trying to go in the ground down there. Follow me?
Oh, you don't want to die.
Yeah,
okay, I get
exactly.
it. And then Bob
man. That's it.
So Berto might be able to answer this one, but I was going to touch on. Bob had a comment earlier. He said he can't do therapy with a 28-year-old female that wasn't in combat. Fuck that foolishness. I will say this, Bob, from experience. I thought that I had the same kind of mindset a long time ago, but now I have a different understanding after going inpatient, right, and working with people that didn't necessarily have any military background or experience, but they did have the training and the skills, and they were a lot smarter than I were, and they knew their profession, they knew their field. I would say I would reconsider if therapy is something that you need. I don't care who you get it from, just get it, because at the end of the day, I learned more from the inpatient therapist than I did from my military therapist a lot of times, right? The military were pumping me full of medication. I get to an actual doctor who cares more about me than less about pumping me full of pills. And they got me on a good regimen, and they really taught me some different life lessons, right? They don't necessarily have to be combat experience to be good at what they do. So I would say, if I could challenge you, I would say, hey, change the way of thinking that, because there's a lot of doctors and therapists out there. I mean, Matt Johnson's daughter is a good example. Never been in the military, never served a day in her life, but she's willing to do the work and to help veterans at the VA and put in the time to actually care about somebody and about what they're going through. So I would challenge you to say, hey, if that's something that you're looking for, something you want, then I would do it, and I wouldn't care who that they sit in front of me, as long as that person is trained and they're genuine and they really do care about my mental health and getting me better, so I can be a better version of myself and a better husband and a better father and a better friend to the people that I care about. And at the end of the day, that's really what matters, not necessarily what their background is, because I'll be honest, like I'm a combat veteran, and I could talk to you and I can give you some advice, but I'm no good at walking you through your trauma, because I'm still dealing with my own. So I would look at it from that angle. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, the first step is accepting the fact that you need that help and you're open to going to do it, right? That's the biggest key. Is like you got that misconception of they don't know what it's like, but like they'll have you crying in 5 seconds if you let them.
But see, here's the other part. I don't know what it's like to do their job, but they do, and they're really good at what they do.
You know how much shit they hear in a day?
We're right, and I might be the small piece of what they're dealing with, but at the end of the day, they're trained and taught to do that.
Yeah. So. Al walks in there like, "That's it?" You're like, "Wait, what? What do you mean that's it? I got a lot of shit I got to work out."
So what I will add to what Al just said is, if you initiate any kind of therapy with someone, if it's manualized, so typically you're going to take 1 to 3 sessions to like really get familiar, really identify what it is that you as the client want to work on. And then from there, my job is to interpret what you're saying and then figure out what therapeutic model would likely be the most effective to help reduce the symptomology. Once that manualized treatment starts, if you are putting the effort in, you're doing the homework, you're being open, you're not really holding back, which is the component that I think that Bob is referring to, that it's much easier to open up to someone that has a semblance of a similar experience. My combat experience is not the same as Ty's. I only deployed for 27 months total, where Ty's got a lot more deployments under his belt. And he actually was on one deployment that was a lot of door kicking, where for me, it was a lot of sensitive items inventory or humanitarian aid missions. So they weren't really like, they were high impact missions for the overall mission, but they weren't true combat missions. Like I wasn't kicking down doors. I wasn't doing a 5 and 10K perimeter security and all that kind of shit. So once that manualized treatment starts, if you're not feeling any kind of relief in 1 to 3 sessions, then one of 2 things is wrong. Either you are not clicking with that clinician and it is your right to ask for a new clinician, or the modality that the clinician has picked is not the most effective for you. And that's the thing with mental health, man. It's like, we're the mechanics of the brain, basically, right? So we need to know what is going on. You can't hold back. I need to know what's going on so that I can then create a treatment plan to help you overcome whatever it is that you're trying to overcome. Now, I will tell you, I just completed, there's a program within the VA called the PCT. They are the PTSD clinical team. Every CBOC should have one. And if they don't, they're definitely at the main hospital in your area. And basically, I just went through EMDR and I did it in about 7 months. And right now, with the measures that they give you, this is why those measures are super important, because those are data points for me as a clinician. As if I give you a PHQ-9, which measures depression and suicidality, if I give you a brief addiction monitor that measures, protective factors, risk factors, and use for any substances, or if I give you a GAD, general anxiety disorder measure, all those measures give me data at every session, and that guides me and tells me, okay, we're going down the right path or we're not. So what I will tell you is what was interesting with my experience. I cannot tell you how EMDR works. It just worked, and I chose it on purpose because I have never taken any training or know really much about EMDR, and it paralleled a lot of my combat experiences that I harbored ill feelings towards, and like really amped up my anger and my irritability anytime situations reminded me of that. Actually went back all the way to my childhood, and a lot of it, I had to call Ty to get some ancillary information that I did not have about one of our deployments. And once Ty was able to provide that, it really lessened a lot of the impact that this particular moment in time had. But yeah, I mean, the reality is mental health takes work, man. The brain is a muscle and you need to train it. And unfortunately, we've likely have trained our brain in a maladaptive way. And so it's going to take some time. And, Al mentioned meds. I'm not anti-meds. I take an SNRI, and I have found it to be extremely helpful. I will say this. We do know from research, medication in combination with talk therapy is the most effective for anything.
Yeah.
Now, part of the problem with meds is finding the correct med that works for you, because we don't know if you've been misdiagnosed. There's a lot of things that cross over with each other. Like PTSD, at the end of the day, is an anxiety disorder. And just because you have anxiety does not necessarily mean that you would meet the criteria for PTSD. And that's a common misconception within veterans, right? Just because you're anxious does not mean you are still carrying that PTSD. Yes, Michael, it did not happen overnight, and it cannot be fixed overnight.
Mike Shroud, shout out. Oh, Mike. He was my Divo years and years ago. This dude's been in every branch of the military except for, I think, the Army. He's currently in the Air Force as a mental health.
Army wouldn't take him.
As a mental health professional, but he was in the Marine Corps. He was in the Marine Corps. He was in the Coast Guard as a mental health, as a nurse, and then he came in the Navy as a nurse, and now he's a mental health nurse. I think he's in 05 now.
In the Air Force, yeah.
In the Air Force. So yeah, I've known Mike for a long time. But I've done EMDR too, Berto, and it was a game changer, bro. Them green lights, buddy. Them things. It definitely was worth it. Doing. I did it in inpatient, so it was definitely
before we get too far past this, I want to make sure I touch on this real quick. Bob says, "I'm good at helping people, not myself. Ty and I have stopped suicides together." That is true. I mean, but I've told you for 20 years, Bob, you're one of the hardest headed dudes I know. And it is because you help so many other people that, maybe you're a little bit rigid when it comes to people helping you. So I will tell you, even if you don't like that 28-year-old female that's not had any combat experience, maybe listen to some of those tools that she's got and then talk to your peer support specialist that the VA can provide you. There'll be a veteran person that's had some combat experience that can maybe relay some of that stuff. I think that's always been one of my superpowers, is like I can relay some stuff that a 28-year-old female that's not got any combat experience says, and I can relay it to the people because I've had some of that same combat. But that's the thing too, is like Bob's talking about some of the combat experience he went through. I mean, that dude was dodging pop shots every day, guarding general officers. And then you got Zachary Edwards, who says cannabis therapy is where it's at. And let me just tell you, I will never recommend recreational drug use for anything, but I will tell you, there's different things that I've heard testimonials about, and cannabis working for Edwards. We had a rocket hit our tent together, so I know he's been in combat. I know he's been having some of those things. So if that works for him, I would say, yeah, I would trust Zach, but I would never recommend anything recreational. But there's 100 different things you can do. And, Michael Strauss says EMDR. I did accelerated resolution therapy. So it's a lot like EMDR. There's 100 different things that can work. Just find your one little thing that'll work. And Bob, we'll still find something for you yet, buddy.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think the important part is like to what Berto was saying is you do it, right? I mean, you've got to be willing to put the work in. Like we talk all this shit as veterans, like, oh, we did all this and we grinded, and now what happens when we get out? We stop grinding.
We get lazy.
You stop. I mean, you stop fighting. You stop being the warrior you once were. That's crazy to me. Like now it's time to pick up the pace, right? And pick your ruck back up and go do some work to make you a better person for your family, and for yourself. So let's find something that works and let's try that. But I mean, giving up and just saying I'm not doing it, I don't think that's the answer at all.
So I think you bring up, both of you actually bring up a couple good points. So one for Bob, helping others and not doing things that are going to help you is a form of avoidance, right? We've already gone through the tough shit. We went through the experience of being in combat, being blown up, whatever the hell, being sniped at while you're freaking changing ComSec, whatever it is, right? We've gone through the tough component. Now we're scared to talk about it. And the more that we talk about it, whether it's targeted therapy or you're talking with your loved ones or whatever, the main thing is the more you discuss what you went through, the less power it has over you. And so that is like the first start, right? Like I've asked my spouse probably every 2 to 3 years, is there anything about my deployments that you are still curious about? Because I've disclosed probably 90% of things. And the things that I have not disclosed is because I wasn't thinking about them, or it wasn't relevant to what she was asking. Now, I'm still working on doing that with my parents if they ever ask those questions. But, I took the stance that I think a lot of us take, right? If we don't say anything, i.e. lie by omission, then I'm protecting their feelings. And the reality is, when you are not able to share something that intimate that happened to you, that affected you, then you are now potentially putting your trust of that relationship at risk, because that spouse feels like you are not telling them something. Right? The other component,
or they're not worthy to hear your innermost thoughts and secrets and distresses. Yeah,
right.
That's a big thing that I like. That's the thing with me that I've kind of got to shut off. Most people that I meet, I'm an open book to, but I need to be able to control myself, because I know that ultimately, if I am harmed by someone, that I will shut that off for everybody, and I can become a cold piece of steel. And so I'm sorry, Berto, keep going.
Yeah. So the other component was, you were talking about medications. All right. So there is a book out there by Dr. Carl Hart. He is one of the premier worldwide researchers in substances, and it's called Drug Use for Grown-Ups. And in that book, what he talks about is two main things: is one, knowing your dosing, and so you're actually three things. Sorry, setting, set, and dose. So your setting is your environment in which you use those substances. Now, we know that drug research is flawed because it's typically in a lab in a very sterile room, and there's some image protection, right? Like, ooh, do I tell this researcher that I really enjoyed that substance? And am I going to be 100% honest? So there's some issues there. The other part is the mindset, right? If you're already in a, what I call, challenging mood, which would be anger, depression, or fear, anxiety. If you're experiencing those three things, you're likely not going to have a good experience with whatever substance that you're choosing to use. The other component would be the dose, right? If you are going to use something, know what you have and buy it from a reputable. So if you're talking about cannabis, buy it from a dispensary. Don't buy it from Joe Blow in the corner, because you don't know what the fuck they put in there. And I can tell you from experience, from many of my clients, they're starting to lace weed with fentanyl. And that is an issue. Okay. Because you're taking two depressants.
Yeah. What's crazy is that guy you're talking about that wrote that book. He also is a guy that forever was like, you should never do drugs. They're super bad. Don't ever do them. I'm totally against them. All that. And then he's like, all right, well, let me go see what this is all about. Now the dude's like, yeah, I do like all these drugs regularly. And people are like, what? He goes, it's all on how you do it. I've heard him talked about on other podcasts before. Yeah.
Yeah. He talked about heroin, meth. He does tend to stay away from opiates. That is not one of the things he does use. And this is all disclosed in his book. Like I'm not spreading, misinformation. But yeah, so the main thing that I would recommend is, any of the new stuff that's coming out, right? There is some treatment that's being experimented with like LSD, which the theory is, if you're using LSD in a therapeutic way, you lower your inhibitions and you lower that image protection. And so it allows you to be more open. So again, this has to be medically monitored. You have, there's a big thing. I'm trying to remember. There's an organization here in Santa Cruz, California, that is, they have the most research. However, the reputation or the skill set of the founder of that organization is kind of in question as more of a recreational user. But at the end of the day, here's what I will tell you, man. When it comes to substances, that's my bread and butter all the way up until this new job in February. basically you have to ask 5 questions. And if you answer yes to any of these questions, then you need to seek treatment, right? Like it's up to you, obviously, but my recommendation would be seek treatment. So the 5 questions are, has my substance of choice caused any interpersonal relationship issues? Is your spouse or your significant other telling you you need to slow down? You need to not drink so much. You need to not use so much. If the answer is yes, we can define it as a problem. The other component is financial. Is it costing you money? Are you stressed the fuck out for money because you're spending too much money on that substance? Okay. The third one is job. Is your substance interfering with your job? Are you calling out because you're hungover or potentially still drunk? Or maybe you took something in the evening and it's still kicking in, right? So job stuff. Has it caused any legal issues? Have you been detained? Have you been arrested? All of, any legal issues, there you go, right? And then the last one is, can you stop when somebody asks you to stop? Plain and simple, right?
So real quick, before you get further, David, your wife loves you so much that she busted you out in front of everybody. Willis, tell me, I got to run, guys. Julie's like, you don't run. Don't lie to these people. Oh my God.
Hey, David, Willis, hobble on over there with your bad knee and take care, Marine. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. No, that's good to ask those questions. But, here's the thing. To be honest, any one of those questions at any given time could be a yes. And you have to be willing to say yes to that question, right? 100%. And there is a comment in here that's from Morgan that was, don't bring it up to loved ones and all, because you don't expose them to the bad things that you've seen or been through. Why expose them? Well, a lot of times they don't know what you're going through and they can't help you. And a lot of times you're causing that rift in your family because you have a lot going on that you don't want to share. And really what it's doing is it's affecting everybody around you, but you really can't see that because you're like, I'm going to protect everybody, but your mannerisms, your demeanor and all that stuff that's going on is keeping you from doing that. I would also venture to say, for your loved ones, I mean, those are the people that love you the most, and they should be the ones that you should be comfortable to tell about those things and kind of work through it with them, because, as much as it scares them to know what you've seen, it makes them feel better to know that you're willing to open up and that, they can help you, so there's two sides of that coin. And again, that's easier said than done. Very, 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 very hard to do. So I'm not sitting here telling you it's easy. You should just go do it tomorrow. But I'm just from a perspective of what it is like thinking about it in that manner. You know what I mean? But Morgan, it's way harder.
Morgan, I didn't tell him who you were either. That I'm going to tell him who you are after Al and Berto wax poetic. Go ahead, Al. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say to Berto's point, I'll tell you what it changed our relationship a lot, because where the guilt and the shame and like, I don't want to tell people this kind of shit. The fact of the matter is I was causing tension within my family because I wasn't sharing, right? I was either shutting down. I was, going into my own head or my own safe place, or not talking and being quiet. And all of a sudden people think there's a problem, or that it's them, or it's a family issue, or that when it's really bigger than that. But once I was able to start sharing and talk a little bit about it with my family, it did open up those doors, because now when I'm quiet or I'm reserved, which is very, very rare, right? Right. So now when I'm shutting down, or I don't have much to say, or I'm in a weird way, then they understand, like, okay, this is, they understood that it's not them, and it's not, they're not causing the problems, or I'm not mad or upset at somebody else, at them, that it's just me dealing with my own stuff. So it does open the door for understanding and for them to have a kind of an idea, even though they've never been there. And you can, and the truth of the matter is, you really won't scare them as much as you think, because even though you explain it, they weren't there. They weren't in that moment. They didn't physically see it or do it or have a part of it. So to them, it's just like a movie, right? They hear it. They're like, okay, well, now I understand. It gives them an understanding, and it really brings families a little closer, in my opinion, when you share the things that you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah. I used actually, as recently as 2 weeks ago, I used SEAL Team. Right, I've been off of work since late January, and so I decided to binge it. Right, and there were times where certain scenes or even the backdrop kind of reminded me of things, and so I would pause it, and then I would look at my spouse and I'd be like, "Hey, can I share something that this reminds me of?" And she'd be like, "Yeah." And so we'd talk about whatever it was, and it's about intimacy, man. It's about giving your all to that person, and when they feel that they are giving their all and you are holding back, that can create resentment and not trusting the other person, right? Particularly if we're impulsive, and many of us that have PTSD are very impulsive. The question is, are you doing dangerous things safely?
Yes,
gotta be safe, man.
Yes.
and there's no doubt that I was
angry masturbation.
That you're trying to. I mean, look, masturbation. He can wax poetic about that. That's one of those reward chemicals.
Yes, it is a. I'm gonna tell my spouse it's a reward. I'm rewarding myself for being a good boy.
My god!
Don't think.
Or you can go on a date night and start creating some intimacy.
Yeah,
my side chick is
that'll be
instant gratification. That's what Albert's looking for.
Oh my god! Anyway, now who is she, Ty? Who is
No, Morgan LeBaron's actually he's my cousin-in-law. He's like basically.
Oh my bad! I said who is she? I thought I assumed.
Yeah, that's why I was thrown off.
My bad, bro. My bad.
No, Morgan. He's a first responder. So we talk about it all the times. Like he and I have these conversations. Like Matt and I have talked about it, and it's apparent to me. And you can wax poetic on this too, Berto. But the civil service, the first responders, EMTs, firefighters, our police officers, they see some pretty heinous stuff, and they're handling this stuff in their backyards. At least we knew we were going to Iraq and Afghanistan. At least we compartmentalized, went home. I know I'm stealing your thunder. You said the same thing. I'm showing you that I learned, Matt, by saying this. But we knew we were going to Iraq and Afghanistan. They did this stuff across town. They're going to treat their neighbors who have just found out have been raped and or worse, or killed or burned up in a fire, and then they have to come home. So I think that a lot of times we'll find when we share that, because there was a reason. I knew something had to be a blow off valve in some way. I didn't think that throwing trash from the middle of a room was the therapy, but that was the thing at that time that was my blow off valve. But being able to share a lot of those things post 2017 when I got out with Sarah, like she had friends that, like, Ty never deployed, right? He was never in combat. Like he was a 25 uniform. They don't do combat. She literally had friends who thought that, because their husbands were in the Navy or their spouses were in the Navy. And
calm down.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah, I do mean that. Fuck y'all Navy. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, they happened to be in the Navy, and they thought, oh, he was a 25 uniform. He ain't seen shit, right? And I was like, come on. Yes, I have. Anyway, but everybody handles it differently. But I wanted to hit this up before you left. What do you think about what he says of it's because you don't want to expose your loved ones? What do you think about that specifically? Like, we should share that with our loved ones, right?
I think we should, if we are at that point in our relationship, right? Like,
right.
My first spouse, for example, would have not been ready to hear all the things that I went through in my first deployment, nor the deployment that I was married with her. And don't get me wrong, like I don't want to come off like I had this horrendous deployment and we were constantly under attack. Like I had a pretty chill 2 deployments. Somehow the timing just worked for me, man. Like Afghanistan wasn't as hot in 2005 and Iraq wasn't as hot in 2007. So it was timing, but
she was super hot in 2003, brother. Super hot in 2003. I will tell you.
I'm sure.
2003, 04, 05, it was pretty warm.
He had an outstanding NCO that gave him amazing top coverage too.
Yeah, I think his name was Walsh.
Oh, okay.
That's the big chief. I'm the medium chief.
Oh, that's right. You're medium pimping. I forgot. Yeah. But no, like, so yes, these are experiences that we go through, right? And unfortunately, that a lot of the training that we have is, Okay, no, best laid out plans don't survive first contact. All right, so now what are you doing? You're scrambling. And those skills are phenomenal. They're great. However, they're not going to help you in the boardroom. They're not going to help you in a conference room. They're not going to help you in your bedroom. So what we need to do is we need to learn new skills and new communication techniques. Calling somebody a stupid fucking fuck is not going to get the same results as somebody saying in a conference room, "Hey man, I don't agree with that, and here's why." Right? There is a difference, and there's a different decorum, and that is the thing that I think those that have spent a lot more time than I did in the military are still ingrained. And there's certain things that I still like, they're pet peeves of mine. Right? Like, it's winter right now. If you're wearing gloves and I go shake your hand, I'm taking my glove off. My expectation is you're taking your glove off too. However, that was ingrained in us because that's military culture.
You're not
However,
you're not going to hand condom the other hand condom.
But that is not something that most people grow up knowing that is the courtesy.
Standing up to shake a hand, right? Things like that.
Right.
Like, if you sit down to shake a hand, I automatically know I own you, and I can probably punch your head off your shoulders.
Yeah. So I have a question on that, Berto. I have a question. All right. So then, as us veteran guys that are coming out of the military, being ingrained in all those things and learning those things, and we come out and we see that, what's our repercussion to make sure people understand that's how we feel and what we should do? Because what happens now is you go out and you go into these places, and now I'm working for these people that have no idea what that means. It's not like you can just say it, because now you're being insubordinate and mean and whatever it is. Difficult. This is why veterans don't make it, because you guys are too whatever, right? So how do you tell somebody that's what you expect of them without being direct and going like, "Hey, look, I mean, when I grew up, we shook hands, not with gloves on." That's going to offend people. How do you get around stuff like that in the world today?
Well, yeah, you have to understand that not everybody grew up with the same manners or etiquette, right? Like, I was recently 2 years ago, I shouldn't say recently, 2 years ago, I went to Alaska, and we're on a cruise ship, and one of our friends is upper middle class, and our other friend is middle class, and our middle class friend dipped the knife in a sauce and tasted it, and our middle class friend was like offended by that, because you don't use a knife for that. And it's just simply different etiquette, right? Like, I grew up with my grandfather being who he is, and so I got to go to some fancy dinners, and so I understand the silverware and the plateware, but that's not how a lot of people grow up. And let's be honest, not everybody who joins the military is a Harvard grad, right? Where many of us are looking for a way out of our hometown because either a rough life at home, or there's not a lot of job opportunity, whatever. We all have reasons, right? Maybe our family couldn't help us with college, and so maybe that's why you joined, right? Like, the reason of why you joined to me does not matter. You stepped up, you raised your right hand, and you were willing to put your life on the line. So kudos, right? Appreciate you. However, we all don't get along. So here's a great example, even within military culture, right? So I'm going to direct this one to Ty. So Ty, you walk in and you see an E7 in the room. How do you address that person? Their last name, we're going to say, is Wright. How would you address them?
How you doing, Sergeant Wright?
Okay, now you walk in and there's an E7 Marine Corps NCO. How are you going to address him?
How you doing, Gunny Wright?
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm getting at is there's a big difference, right? In the Army, I can get away with calling any NCO except for E9s and E8s. I can call them sergeant, and it's no problem, right? That is not the case in the Marine Corps. You better call them by their full freaking rank.
Not the case.
It happened to me.
Not the case in the Navy. It ain't the case in the Navy either, buddy.
What do you call the Navy?
Right.
Just like the Marine Corps, you call them by their title. Like, if they're a first class, they're a first class petty officer. Chief, they're a chief.
Not really. I mean, it's if
you don't call a senior chief no chief, bro.
No, listen, bro. You're not listening.
You mean just petty officers.
If you're third, second, or first, and let's say you're an EO, right? EO1, you can do that, but that means they're there you can do by like their abbreviation, but
You just
chief,
call them petty
chief,
officers,
senior
yeah.
chief, master chief.
You said some below.
But yeah, it's I mean, all that being said, I guess my point is, how do veterans get around the fact that when you come out, so I'm gonna give you my personal right here, right?
Mhm.
I have to listen to you complain and listen about all the stuff that you don't like, and I have to hear it, but I can't have an opinion. And I just got to just hear it and listen. And then, you know, on the opposite end, that return is not the same because we have completely different things that we don't like or we complain about, right? Thinking about that way.
Yeah.
So like there's this expectation that you have to listen to everybody around you, but then when it's time, maybe if you want to complain, nobody's going to listen, or you're difficult, or you know what I mean? Because in a veteran mindset, we tend to all complain about the same shit. Whereas I feel like everybody outside of me all complains about the same shit, but it's like you have to listen to all of it. So, you know, how do you work around and get everybody, right? I guess my thing is, how do we all make sure that people can sit down, talk, listen, and just be able to communicate so that we can all learn something instead of trying to be right and win and have the best opinion and I'm the right one and you're the wrong. You know, how do you get to that point? In the military, it was rank kind of shut that down. You see some people going crazy, and first sergeant or chief walks in and like, what are you doing? And you sit them down, make them talk, and it's all good. Outside though, it's not how it works.
Right. And so one of the techniques that I use a lot is we call it the EPE, elicit, provide, elicit. So if somebody's complaining, you know, at a conference room, you could always say, hey man, you know, can I offer you some feedback on that? Or can I offer you some advice on that? If they agree, you respect it and you give them an elevator pitch.
Cleared hot.
There. Yeah. You're not coming in bombs are dropping, freak it, you know, full auto. You're just giving them a quick elevator pitch. And that also works when you are wanting feedback.
Yeah.
Right. You can also elicit that, right, from others. I think the biggest thing that I can kind of give vets in that perspective, one of my undergrad and grad school professors used to tell me, you guys, meaning veterans, do not know how terribly you scare civilians because of the language that we use.
Like fuck.
Right? Like,
yeah, I'm not quite sure that I'm comfortable with you using you veterans. I mean, you are a veteran too. And I've heard you talk about people
my professor. So basically,
that's a good point though. That's a good point. I have
you've told me plenty of times, Matt, hey bro.
Yeah.
Like you've had to remind me I'm not a senior chief. Like, hey bro,
for sure.
But that's what it takes. I think
the language is a good point though. The language is good. I've had to like work really hard to not say the F word every other word that comes out of my mouth, describe everything in the most astute way I can, using a lot of B's, F's, S's, H's.
C's.
Not as many C's. I didn't do that one. That was you. But you know, like it does make sense. But here's the other thing that I've noticed about Alberto is I think it depends on the situation veterans put themselves in for that as well, right? So the people that I go talk to and the people that I'm around, sometimes I really feel like I shouldn't say that. Is that weird? Like when you stand in a room, you're like, I shouldn't probably be talking like that in front of these people.
I don't know. It's funny. I think you have to read the room. Like with us, when we're on a call at work, we're very I've learned and conditioned myself to like understand my audience, but then you switch over and we're having a meeting with like the veteran affinity group, and it's like no holds barred. Like you got time, you know
that one's cleared hot, bro,
and it's cleared hot. But I think you have to read the room, even as a veteran. I think Berto's point too. Just because you're a veteran, you can't expect everyone to understand that, or to understand the culture, the environment you came from, the language you use, the way I could tell somebody, shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. And that's and they it was cool. Like, yeah, you're right. Or somebody could tell me, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna fucking take you in the Connex.
I'm gonna draw a line on your face so you know where those sunburns are supposed to be.
And that statement alone will get you 5 to 10.
Yeah, you have to understand.
But that's what's crazy, right? However, there's a lot of statements on the opposite side that are said all the time that you can't really say. You know, that's what I'm saying is like, for veterans, we're used to like the rules. It's the same rules apply to everybody, right? You can do this, you can't do that. This is the way you respect it. This is the way etiquette goes. However, when you get out, you're like, holy shit, everybody's playing by different rules. That's what makes it so difficult for veterans, because they're like, I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to do here. You're doing the whole Talladega Nights thing, right? Hands are up. I don't know what to do. And so that's why I was trying to ask, like, how do you get, closer to that? Like, how do you bridge that gap? Because all these other people have been playing by no rules forever. That's how they learned. We learned to play by rules. And now we're like, break the rule. I don't know if I can break the rules. You know what I mean? So now I don't know the rules, so then you wind up just complaining, and your wife hears it every day. And she's like, Jesus Christ, can you like complain to the wall or something?
What's up, Kevin Cash?
Hey, he posted a comment down here where he didn't even say shit. I think he's speechless. Look, he just posted his name. We know who you are, motherfucker. Damn.
So here's what I will tell you, right? Like,
I had that Jesus Christ commercial that he made.
Using professional language, right? I want you guys to consider this. If I told you that I needed an ANC 97 or 92, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Hell no. I'm going to ask you what it is.
Okay, it's a long range radio on a Humvee.
ANVRC 92, 2 long range radios on a Humvee vehicle.
We didn't use. We're in the Navy, so we didn't use the full term. They were just 92s.
They're like, pick up the telephone, bro.
Fair, right? So as a commo guy, right, it would drive me nuts when people would be like, "Yo, I need the filler cable." Oh, you mean a whiskey too, motherfucker? Like, use the proper goddamn terminology, right?
I would have said filler cable too.
The same thing is right with our subject matter, the things that we are subject matter experts in. We expect to use proper terminology and nomenclature so that we all speak the same language. Yes. Okay. Well, the same thing in professional, right? In a professional setting, it needs to be PG. If you wouldn't say it in front of a 5-year-old, you shouldn't say it in the office.
No, I agree with that. I agree.
Right now, there are ways to communicate. Right. There are ways to say things, right? You can look up dear man. That is one way to express yourself. You can also look at what a descript is or a disarm. These are ways to communicate with somebody and say, hey, man, I did not like, you're going to give them feedback and say, hey, Al, I did not like the fact that you called me a motherfucker 5 seconds ago. And if you continue to do that, I will not be on the show.
Yeah.
Right. Boom. Yeah. I'm setting a fucking boundary. I'm telling you what I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm not. And I'm telling you what the consequences are. Now, the key is you have to follow up with those consequences, right?
Yeah, if it says it again, you got to get off. If you don't, now you're just being a complaining bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, and then you have that's the disarm, right? Now, the descript is more of, hey, man, when you did this, hey, do you remember when you did this? I also experienced something similar, right? I remember Sergeant Pellick calling me names, and I did not like that, right? So in the future, Al, I will refrain from using any motherfucker referring to you, right? That is, and I'm doing this on the fly, so
that sounded great, though, bro.
No, you're.
I didn't call you a motherfucker, bro. I called Kevin Cash a motherfucker, and I will call him a motherfucker. Okay. I will motherfuck Kevin Cash till the day he dies.
Dang, dude.
But Sergeant Pellet did used to call you names, huh?
Yes, sir.
So, but that's why I asked you the question, Berto, because a lot of times when we get into those, so just think about it, right? Mm-hmm. We're all sitting here. It pissed you off when someone said, I want the filler cable. I'd walk in and ask you for the filler cable because I know you'd get mad as shit. But you're going to come back at me and tell me to fuck off. You ain't getting the shit. I'd be like, dude, come on. And then when I finally go, can I, whatever it's supposed to be called, you're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can get that. But you can't get we're used to, it's that banner that goes back and forth, right?
Exactly.
So you're used to that. Now, when you come out and somebody tells you, or you see things go, like veterans get really, that's what makes, I think, a lot of them anxious in those situations. Cause it's just like, well, I'm just not going to say nothing because every time I open my mouth, everybody's got a problem, all these things. And they're just like, well, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Right. So it's like, how do I figure out how to still communicate and not feel like an outsider all the time, right? And so it's like doing that thing. And it's weird, right? It's like the whole, when we were in the military, you got to be like, do I have permission to rub your back? People were like laughing and they're like, no, dude, for real. Like you should really, ask. The best one in that class was when they told all the married dudes, "Did you guys ask your wife if you can kiss her?" And they were like, "Get the right?" And everybody was like, "Well, you should." People were like, "Shut up." And when you think about it, there's like moments, in there where when you think about things that people say, sometimes it makes sense. But being able to communicate outside of the military, that's the hardest thing, dude. Hardest thing. Because you just use the whole big acronym. I don't even know what that means. And I do a lot of interviews every day. Dude's like, I grabbed the PM 285 and I was putting it over on this thing. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck this guy's saying. Hey, dude, what's a PM 285? I don't know. Like, I'm just a recruiter. I've never done your job. I don't know what that is. So, kind of like I can't help you if I don't know what that is. Right. And so that communication of asking questions and clarifying is good, but that doesn't always go well.
Right. So there's a couple of things that I can tie in all the way around in a nice little bow. So number one, when we're talking about spouses, right? You just said it's about communication and consent and all of that stuff. And all of that stuff is very valid. Times are changing, guys. And if, God forbid, if one of our spouses, is no longer with us and we go back into the dating pool, we're screwed. Because the way I have a couple friends that are single
dude, they got so much shit now. I'm like,
I didn't know that's what they taught you in the Navy.
Dude, yeah, that's the first thing. That's the first thing you learn in boot camp. The first class is like, here's how you insert your butt plug. Like you're like, oh, cool. I got a chrome.
What fucking boot camp did you go to, bro?
Zero?
That's day zero, bro. That's like
that's
processing days.
That must have been that cert bullshit you went to.
How to do a checkbook. Get your first haircut, insert butt plugs. That's the Navy way. I don't know if anybody else was in the same Navy.
Where the fuck was that? Your DEP meetings before you went into the Navy?
No, that was
Hold on.
I think you're lying.
Hey, Berto, were you done with what you were saying?
No. Let me wrap it all up. So
I gotta say something to Bob when you're done.
Okay. So you got the communication piece, right? So I'll throw in another book, right? Brene Brown, one of the world premier social work researchers in the world. Being repetitive, sorry, in the world. She just recently, probably about a year and a half ago, released a book called Atlas of the Heart. And one of the things that she explores is vulnerability and intimacy and what is real courage. And the main premise of the book is our language has impact. And until we start recognizing the impact that language has, in whether you're berating somebody, but you think you're trying to give them feedback, and it's not being received because you're using a lot of curse words and your tone is very high. One of the things that I get accused of is that I yell a lot, and I don't feel I yell. I speak clearly, and but I also know when I raise my voice and I know when I'm screaming. And so that's another component, right?
Me too, but nobody else believes me that I'm not yelling. I'm just saying.
Right.
Way back in 2009, my wife lived with Berto and I when we were up at Fort Campbell, and she thought we were arguing like angrily every night, and all we're doing is talking about the weather, the uniform for tomorrow, fucking sports.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Berto.
Yeah. So choosing our words carefully can genuinely have a huge impact on people, right? Then the last component is learning how to communicate, some basic communication skills. And yeah, when you look these up, right? So I'll say them again. You can do a descript, you can do a disarm, or you can do a dear man. A dear man is more DBT oriented, but it serves the same purpose, right? It allows you to set boundaries with people, and it also allows you to communicate that you are not appreciative of whatever behavior they're doing. And that's the thing. Right? Like we in the military kind of focused on physical aspects, either because we were trying to get the guy that was overweight to meet their weight goals or at least meet the tape. Maybe we throw in insults to get people motivated to run faster or to, do an obstacle course quicker, whatever.
Absolutely.
It is, right? However, that kind of motivation does not work in the civilian sector.
Hey, what is DBT? Because I don't even know what that means.
Dialectical behavioral therapy.
See, look, you see how Al's face? He was thinking something different, bro.
So DBT is it's very common for people who have been diagnosed with personality disorders, in particularly. Why am I blanking? I didn't yell. That's a crock of shit, Bob. I will pause my statement to tell you that that's a crock of shit.
Bob, did Bob get beat? Did you get beat up a lot, Bob? Because you seem like you were very abrasive.
No, no, he's got. This is something I was going to say like earlier, just to rile him up. I got something I want to say to Bob about the 101st MP Company, but then too, like Bob did go through a lot of stuff, but Bob has been one of those people that where I feel like I got everything good from the VA, everything good from any veteran service organization. Like Bob is one of those people that I've seen firsthand, like the fucking VA just loses records or lie about his records or tell him one thing and then tell his chain of command other things. You know, I've seen all kinds of weird stuff with Bob over the years. And so I can understand how he can act like he can say, and he can say what he does sometimes, but like he is a pretty resilient dude to have gone through all of he has done. And if we're just giving him one little tool, I know that he doesn't remember you, but I'll tell you who Berto is. Berto deployed with me twice, Bob, and he helped me run the shop. He was the only other E4 combo chief for the 716th MP Battalion. He was a good guy, so I vouch for him. And he is a licensed clinical social worker. So not only was he one of my soldiers back in the day, but now he mentors me on, interview techniques and things that we do for the show. So I trust him. And if you ever needed anything, not that it would make you look weak or anything like that, I'm one of the toughest people around. And I'm telling you, the only reason I can I can be vulnerable enough to say that is because of all the therapy I've gone through. And, I knew there was something about it when I had those blow off valves, and Berto did too. And I feel like in some way, him being with me for those two deployments probably made him become a social worker, because he's like, God damn, that dude's crazy. But anyway, go ahead, Berto. Go ahead.
But actually, Bob and I served together. He was in the mailroom when I got to HHD back in Jesus Christ 04?
1872.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like sometimes. I'll tell you.
Fucking when he was part of the Pony Express and he had to get on his horseback and
him and Paul Revere were high-fiving down the road. You know what I mean?
The British are coming. The British are coming.
He probably helped create the saying "I got shotgun."
Oh yeah, probably. There you go.
Bob had
wait a minute. Do we not know the story? Do we not know the story?
No.
Of how that term came about?
Hold on though. Before you get into that one, I got one question. It's super important. Super important. What you know about Mo Dickum?
Mo Dickum. It's all about the Mo Dickum.
Do you know the Mo Dickum story, or?
I just wanted to know if you knew about Mo Dickum.
I know about Mo Dickum.
Okay. Yeah. Probably just the legend of it, and like how people used to just, whenever.
Apparently, Moses held the Mo Dickum stick as people walked into the headquarters and was greeted with fair greetings every time they walked in. Yeah, that was like a term of endearment when y'all were in.
Younger.
Yeah,
Mo Dickum. I just, I saw the stick, it caught my attention.
But
that
Bob is a mute now. He can't talk. He's got the thing here, so he texts. Yeah, he's got Yeah. I didn't know a lot. Didn't know Bob. Yeah, at some point we're gonna have him on here. We'll have him on camera, and we'll have all them 101st people and Fort Campbell people can just ask him a bunch of questions. But yeah, Bob is still alive. He's still as annoying as ever. I love him, and yeah, he was through all that stuff. There's some weird shit in his medical file. I've seen some of it. He's shown it.
Kevin Cash is really he's
so hold on. I got to do this while I got Bob's attention. All right, so I was in the 101st MP Company for a long time. And one of the my most prized possessions is a certificate of permanent membership to the 101st MP Company Association. So what a bunch of the guys and gals that served in the 101st do is sometimes there's a group of them that they make these tomahawks for people. So this is a tomahawk that they made for me. So normally, they would make this for an MP that stood out or that did something good in their eyes, this group for that. But I wasn't an MP, I was a support MOS. I was a signal guy and an EWO, but I went from E3 to Sergeant First Class. I got a sequence number for Sergeant First Class in that battalion. And to get this 101st MP Company on the front of it and air assault on the back of it, and to know that someone that I served with, Harsh Barger, in the the 101st MP company and Bob Mayer, that they're doing this for people. That means so much to me. So I'm actually going to hang this thing right here, right next to my 101st. So we'll see it every week on the podcast. This means a lot to me that you got this done for me, Bob. And I'm definitely going to help you pay this forward to all those people that you and Rich deem worthy of getting this. So thank you, brother. I'm done.
That's awesome.
That was sweet.
Welcome back, Kevin Cash. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, and then let me play this video that Kevin.
Oh, here we
made
go. This is
Kevin.
I
forgotten I made this, but yeah, here we go, Kevin.
Hi. Do you have a second for me to speak to you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
I got this video in my inbox and it was out of nowhere. There was no context. I have no idea why he sent it to me, but I
get those sent to my phone quite often. I get those
just like,
I've got that one.
I was like, okay, so
amen.
Anyway, Kevin Cash is
Look, Bob, what the fuck
guy.
is that? That's Kevin Cash. That's what the fuck that is.
Berto's like, what is happening? That's Kevin.
Nah, yeah. Berto was mesmerized by his beard. Don't lie. He's like, damn, I've been trying.
That was a glorious beard.
Yeah.
Is this a Mormon commercial?
Is that a Mormon commercial? There you go, Becky. That's what I'm talking about.
But anyway, Berto, hey, I appreciate you coming on. We a lot of times, we may be hitting you up in a group text, because sometimes you have turmoil just come out of nowhere and you don't even understand why that shit's happening. So at some point you're going to have to resolve it. So when we do get to the point of resolving all that, we'll be sure and keep you in on it. Cause I don't know what the fuck happened. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So let me give you two more book recommendations because they're tied directly to what we've been talking about. One is called Get Your Loved One Sober. And though it says sober, it's about behavior change. And basically the premise is our loved ones know us the best. So when we're stressing the hell out, our family can't. So this book is more for family than it is for us. And basically what it guides them to is to identify those things because they know that we're experiencing things before we may realize that we're experiencing. And then the other one was the Atlas of the Heart, right? Because there are so many different words that we use incorrectly, like the difference between envy and jealousy, right? We use them differently, sometimes interchangeably, and they're not interchangeable words. And so, using accurate language to describe what you're experiencing is probably the best way that you can communicate instead of saying all shit's going to hell. No, I'm feeling overwhelmed because I still have to pack up the kitchen and the guest room, and times it's getting crunchy. It's getting close, right? So it's those kinds of things, right? And we don't really know how to express emotion or what we're feeling, but you can start with whatever it is that you're bothered by, or even talking with, somebody who's in your inner circle, if you will, about what you're experiencing, and just be like, I'm pissed the fuck off and I don't know why, and just have a conversation with them, and it might come out. But the thing about getting things off your chest is so true. Thank you, Becky. It is so true, right?
And it's so awesome. I love you so much. Jesus.
And to tie in with what Becky is adding, incorporating any kind of meditation or any kind of self-care. Let me not even say meditation. Any level of self-care. We all need our own me time as well.
Bro, Berto is a G.
Not that kind of me time, Al.
Look, you're a G, Berto. She straight called you a veteran Buddha, and you're like, and so to expound on what she said, some meditation would be good to do in there as well. Like, didn't even break nothing. He wasn't like, what? He's like, oh, as a matter of fact, I am Buddha. Let me tell you how this stuff kind of works.
I'm telling you what, every time this dude comes on the show, I'm more proud and more proud. Like, I remember meeting this guy, and he was a ball of energy that you just kind of tried to hope to contain in some way, because he just wanted to impart his knowledge, and he had a lot of it. He wanted to impart his knowledge on fucking everybody. And he was really good at doing that. So, had to control it. And then now I want him to impart his knowledge on everybody. I love what you do. Thanks for keeping me in check these days, brother.
No, I appreciate you, Boo.
All right.
Word. Hey, I
Berto,
can't. I need
from
the
New
invite. I need the invite to the New Mexico housewarming party.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will do one for sure.
If we do it, I can guarantee we'll have live music. I'll play the drums, and then we'll get a Tim on guitar.
Yep.
And I'm sure he can find a band. We'll have live music, and we'll do a podcast. There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
Right.
Locked in. All right.
All right. I'll let you
guys.
soon.
Be kind. Bye.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Not bad.
New Mexico, huh? I think he's trying to go find Thor's hammer, bro.
So
That's what I think.
That's pretty cool. This motherfucker is sharp.
It's funny.
Too.
Bob showed me that. He sent me a picture, I think, of that.
Dude, they straight up sent you a weapon, dude.
Yeah, they did. They sent this to me in the mail. Bob's like, yeah, make sure that, I don't know why I'm talking like this, Bob. This is how I remember you talking under the tree back in the day. Yeah, make sure you don't hurt yourself with that little kid. I got this, and I was like, okay, Bob, yeah. But sure enough, this thing's sharp. So
I would use it if somebody broke into my house.
No, the sentiment, yeah, that'd be messed up. The sentiment of them sending me this, like, they know how sentimental I am. They know how much I love that unit, and I've maintained a relationship with most of the people that I served with in that unit. And so to have one of these on my wall, knowing that other people in the unit, people that I respected and looked to as heroes, have that on their wall already, that's a big deal to me. I love that kind of band of brothers shit. So that's the kind of shit that instills loyalty, to me. That's loyal. That's some loyal shit right there.
So are we gonna what do we got next? We have future guests. So what do we got coming up next?
Yeah, let me get on.
Because I really need to get into this whole football thing. I got to jinx the shit out of Patrick Mahomes this Sunday.
Man.
All right, so future guest. I don't have a picture of him, but it's Thomas Villar with Skeleton Crew Adventures. I've been reading about this, Matt.
Thank you. Not quite the Buddha beard, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I was looking at my phone. I was reading about this in order to put this slide together. Man, like my brother-in-law lives on a boat. And he talks about the way it heals his soul, sailing. I can't wait to talk to this guy. So,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. What do we got next? Sports. All right. What do you want to talk about? Because you already picked the game, I think.
I know he picked the game, but I really need this dude to lose. Like, I need Jalen Hurts to pretend like it's not the Super Bowl 3 years ago, and you're actually gonna win this one, bro.
Okay.
I can't. I know you pick Kansas City because you're going against the grain, bro.
No, because I respect greatness. I mean, here, let me tell you. I actually thought about this because I knew once you said you wanted to talk about it, I was like, what is he going to talk about? We ought to pick the game. Oh, we're going to get into sentiment. So here's my sentiment.
Let's go.
Jalen Hurts is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, mostly because of how athletic he is, and a lot of the way he describes having to be real athletic because of the way Jason Kelce was as a center. So just hearing him describe that and the mental preparation that he does for the game, that's the kind of shit I lock into. And Jalen Hurts to me is like amazing. So for him to do all the things that he did in college and basically be shunned at Alabama, go to Oklahoma, show out and, do the great things he's done in the pros so far. Like, I want them to win. And Saquon Barkley was my running back all year. And I love a good story that makes. So seeing the Eagles win would be really poetic, Jason Kelce's going to get up there to make for good television because he's going to cry, But to me, doing this 3 times in a row, and then I won't even say that this will make him the GOAT over Tom Brady, but how amazing of a quarterback run this is for Patrick Mahomes' legacy. To me, that's why I want Kansas City to win. And I think they just found a way to win all year. And now they're going to have this extra week with Andy Reid with the game plan. I just don't think you can lose. But the Eagles up front, much bigger team. It's going to be, if they do win, they'll have to pull. I think the Chiefs are probably – the wise bet would say that they're an underdog because the Eagles on the page, they're bigger than them everywhere up front. So
I just hate them, dude.
Dominate.
I hate them because they're doing so good.
You tell me, wax poetic about why you.
I just hate them. I hate them just like I hated the Patriots, and they were kept on freaking winning, and Tom Brady couldn't lose. And I hated them just like I hated the Dallas Cowboys back in the day because they couldn't lose. I want to see something different.
But see, Tom
hasn't
Brady
been that long, dude. This is gonna be their 4th Super Bowl title. They've been to 7 straight AFC Championship games, dude.
Yeah, but
what do you mean it ain't been that long?
Short time. It's not been that long. He's not been
7 years. That's like a lifetime in the NFL, dude. Most players don't make it past 4 or 5.
I still remember stats from 1984, and I
know you do.
I remember the announcer saying, I bet John Elway's, the reason his first throw was 70 miles an hour, he's got a little bit of adrenaline running through his body. There's no way you could be nervous. I remember the calls from way back then. So, yeah, I probably appreciate it differently.
I mean, listen, they're a good team, obviously, because they win. I want to see Josh Allen win one because I feel bad for that dude because he can't ever beat Patrick Mahomes. Because now Patrick Mahomes is the Josh Allen as Tom Brady was to Peyton Manning, right? He just can't get past this dude, man. And then once he does it the one time, it'll be good. It's everything, dude. My daughter even was like, Sierra was like, yeah. I was like, I just don't want to see Taylor Swift all day. Well, that's the reason more people are watching football. I was like, what?
Yeah, and
I feel so weird. Swifties go to football. She's like, she's the reason. I was like, this is why you more don't want that to happen.
For the last 2 years or last 2 or 3 years, I guess that's why my wife and my oldest daughter and now one of my youngest daughter, they're going to be here watching the Super Bowl because fucking Taylor Swift. And, I like Taylor Swift just as much as the next 55-year-old dude that grew up like I did, which is probably not that much. But you know what I'm saying? But anyway, but
don't lie, Ty. You be shaking it off in the kitchen, bro.
But see, the song my kids asked me, like, what song do you like? And I like the stuff when she was a country artist, like that song, Our Song. I think that's what it's called, Our Song. That's the song that I remember.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
No,
but anyway, I don't know how we started talking about Taylor Swift, but
either because way, she's the reason you watch the Kansas City Chiefs now.
That is no, that is not the reason.
What? No, they show her more than they show Patrick Mahomes, dude. The only reason you see Patrick Mahomes the whole game is because you've got to keep it on him to watch.
You turned me into a Taylor Swift defense attorney. I don't want it. This is not the role I want, but I guess this is the mantle I'll have to take up. I hope Sarah's still watching and sees me take up for Taylor Swift. That'll get me some points.
Look, dude,
you get points with your wife, but you've just lost points with every male in the country.
Man, look at here. I got so many damn cool points that I can stand to lose a few. You know that. I got plenty of cool points. I got plenty.
I just hope it's a good game above everything else.
And both teams win.
And that the Eagles are taking the trophy back.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is you couldn't be mad. Can't be mad if Jalen Hurts wins, if Saquon Barkley runs for 6 touchdowns or,
Patrick Mahomes flops over the field. I mean, it's just going to happen.
Well, sure. Yeah. I get that part. They do seem to get some calls, but there's some. Some.
A lot.
Yeah, they get some calls. Some could be a lot. Anyway, that's not my point.
Could be a few. Could be a couple.
They get the points because they're always in close games because everybody's getting their best shot.
Dang.
And they're good enough to still win because Patrick Mahomes puts himself into a certain position with, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. I mean, that's all they do is put him down in the flat where nobody's at.
You saw the meme or the picture on Facebook where they showed the end of the game. Patrick was trading jerseys with the ref.
Yeah. I mean, I see what they're talking about, but I mean, what I can still see is greatness. And I mean, like I joked with my son about this. Like, I don't do this often, but I'm going to do this. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. In Jacksonville, Florida, we had some of the absolute greatest basketball teams in the 90s. Players were playing when I was there. Andre Cooper, Jeremy Hyatt, Myron Anthony. Those are just the guys from our team. There's people were going D1 all over. So to see those athletes and to be around them and to be able to see that greatness and then to be able to kind of even on a small piece, be able to see that and then know what the pros are doing and how precise they are. It would do me nothing better than see Jalen Hurts win, but Anyway, I know I'm not making sense, but
it's okay. You defended it well. Good job. They're still gonna fucking lose though. The Eagles are winning.
I hope not.
Fuck them. I just don't like him. Don't like him. I don't like that Travis Kelce has now become like Bieber with a haircut and then switches back and forth. You know what I mean, Kelce?
Can you hear
know
me?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you ignoring us now? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's about time somebody else's shit starts breaking. You know what I mean? It's always mine, dude.
I think my internet just blipped.
Hey,
I froze for a minute.
Oh, Albert, what do you think?
I feel the same way you feel. I echo your sentiments because I really just hate, and I think I don't like his face. I don't like him. I don't like nothing about his team. I think his coach is a goofy bitch. I don't like anything about Kansas City.
Fumblerooski.
I don't like any of them, bro. I don't like any of them. I just can't stand.
Well, who do you not like the most?
Oh, Patrick Mahomes, and not because.
Okay, why though?
I just think he's a fucking bitch. I really do. He's the LeBron of football, bro. He's a bitch. I don't give a fuck. He whines. He acts tough. I wish somebody would like let him run on the field and act tough and get knocked the fuck out by anybody. Just knocked. I hope Saquon Barkley just punches him in the face.
You want Mike Singletary from 1985 to jump
I
out?
do.
I
do.
Gap and
just knock him unconscious. I just don't like him. I don't like the way he plays the game. I don't like it. I'm
okay, that's weird because I had this weird probably epiphany of myself completely losing all my athletic ability about 6 years ago. I just, it was like me and my buddies used to think we could complete a pass on Deion Sanders. And I used to think that if I were to have been like a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes is who I'd been like, because I would throw the ball from all angles, and I thought I was kind of an athletic quarterback. So you're telling me you don't like that?
I don't. I don't like him.
Shit.
I think he is. He is Emmitt Smith, and I'm not saying anything about Emmitt Smith. He's a Pensacola guy, but he has a great team around him. He wouldn't be this good anywhere else. You put him on any other team.
But you would agree that this is what the NFL is going to, like Patrick Mahomes,
yeah, it's the NBA.
Josh Allen. Like it's going to the big man quarterback that can be your RPO, run.
I just don't like. I don't
even draw penalties.
I don't. He draws penalties.
Yeah, but that's listen.
He don't draw penalties, dude. I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like
they draw more penalties like him. The big guys draw more penalties than like Kyler Murray, who gets demolished and sometimes doesn't get the penalty.
I don't like.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't like how.
I don't like that game. I like.
They're making football soft, bro.
I want to see tough quarterbacks again. I don't want to see the Patrick Mahomes who were like, oh, he touched. Like, I don't like it. I don't like that game, bro. I don't like it. I don't like the fucking having grit and wanting every play to get a penalty because you're a fucking goofy dad bod bitch. I don't like it.
I think I'm gonna side on science. Like I think that my generation of people, we were the first generation that realized that CTE is a real thing, and so I think we stopped our kids from playing. So our generation is the reason there's such a.
I like CTE. Bring it back. Let's bring it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you say that, but I know I understand what you're saying, but like at some point we're going to get to a point to where it's nearly a flag football game, and that's going to be what we're going to see. So they're going to move more towards that, so they can get less and less people hurt, and that's a good thing to do, right?
No.
At some point, the
it is a good thing to do.
I don't know. It's not. I want gladiators, Ty. I want to see them die on the field.
But
so at some point, the entertainment value for you will drop.
Yes.
Below because I think at some point it'll do that for me too. Go ahead, Matt.
I want to see death.
Saying it's weak, dude. It's weak. Like you can have a textbook tackle, shoulder into the chest, knock that dude out because it was a textbook tackle, and it's going to be. Like the defensive players, they can't fucking win, dude. Ever. Can't win. If you touch the quarterback, it's going to be a flag. You can't even touch him. So then what's the point, right? Whereas, like you said, you have like
quarterbacks shouldn't even have to wear fucking.
Football is a hard
gear.
Fucking sport, and you should treat it like it's a hard sport.
They shouldn't have to wear gear. Like, don't even wear a pad. Just go there with some shorts and a tank
fuck
top.
that. You need to wear some fucking pads.
Nah, don't wear nothing. Nobody's going to touch you.
You need to wear some pads, homie. Yeah.
I want the linebackers to carry the axe, all those hatches that Ty's got.
Yeah. What do we do? This is a good song.
He did it on purpose. Oh, there he is.
Oh, they're at. Hey, this has been a interesting show. I didn't exactly know where it was going to go when Berto got on, but I'm glad we went where it went. And it's, as always, it's fun for me having these Tuesdays to be able to talk to you guys. I know you're going to be there. I know we can wax some stuff up, and it may not go exactly how you want to go, but at some point we get some good therapy out of it, and that's what I love. We'll figure this shit out.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. So, Al, don't get mad. You're gonna lose the t-shirt war.
Never happened.
Saying, dude,
Kevin Cash is my secret.
Bro, listen.
Is my secret. I'm gonna have.
Got your six. Don't take WIC checks, dude.
Well, then you'll be in trouble. Y'all take post-dated checks at least. I say post-dated checks.
I just want to remind everybody, t-shirts contest is live, and at some point we will get to debut commercials. That's right. I don't know, maybe we should have an award for the best commercial. I know who's winning that one probably already, more than likely. So stay tuned, go out there and buy the shirts, help us give it back to charity, and thank you everybody for watching. We love you for it. Can't wait to see you again next week, and until then, Al, you got the last word, my friend.
I don't have much to say other than thank you all for coming out again and watching the show. This is therapy for us. I hope it's as therapeutic for everybody that watches the show as well. Love somebody, call somebody, check on your battle buddies this week. Make sure everybody's doing okay. It gets, I know we get busy, things get crazy, but make sure you reach out to somebody. Let them know you're thinking about them and that they're on your mind and on your hearts. And I love you guys and appreciate everything. That's it. That's all I got. Love y'all. Till next week. Holla.